Uh, Good morning, members. Welcome to our second class on SQL injection. In the previous class, we covered introduction to SQL injection. We looked at many things. We looked at the definition of SQL, why we need SQL. We looked at what is meant by database. We went ahead and looked at now the SQL injection itself. We looked at different ways or different types of SQL injection that are already known, and we're about to start doing practicals. Then electricity was not on our side. So in our today's class, we're going to start exactly from how we stopped at in the previous class, and then we proceed with with the practicals of how we can demonstrate the known SQL injection in real world projects, and how we can mitigate or reduce the risk of SQL injection. So I hope we are all attentive and ready to proceed with our today's class. As we always do it, I will always do two sessions, whereby we begin the first session of 70 minutes, and then we have a short break, and then resume the second session. So don't despair. We'll have a break. All what you should do is just to be very attentive, because as I told you, the class is good for seniors and also for juniors. If you're junior, you learn something uh, new. If you're a senior, you're already programming or you're already deep in programming, you'll be reminded of how we can get rid of some SQL injection. So with that much said, let's go straight to the business, with Dr. Drake as the senior lecturer on this call. So let's start. I remember last class we had created a simple project where we're going to do what to demonstrate this. But for the sake of record, let us begin something completely new, and we see how we get started from scratch. So why am I doing it from scratch? Because I believe some people here, they have never programmed, but you never know. If we begin from zero, it can be an inspiration for someone to know that these things are not really hard, and they can also get started with with programming. So that's why I want to begin from totally zero. So even though you don't have idea about programming, after this class you can watch this video and try it from home. You'll see it is possible. And if, if you're already a programmer, don't feel offended. Just be patient. Maybe you learn something or good practice that we will discuss today. So let's go straight to the business. Okay, so we are going to use the common language, programming language, which is PHP, which is the most common. Does not need too much logic or too much things to set it up. So to use PHP, you need what we call XAMPP. To get this XAMPP is very simple. Just you open your Google Chrome or your browser. Let me open here one of the browser. So open the browser and search. Go to google.com and then search XAMPP like this. So if you're totally at beginner level, you can try this from home. So go ahead and search XAMPP download. Okay, so you'll be able to download this XAMPP, and to install it is very simple. You just once you open the file that you have downloaded, and then click next. So by doing that, you'll have an environment to do what to run a PHP on your PHP code on your computer. So you'll have a server on your on your own computer. That's why you need this software called XAMPP. So after successful installation of this software called XAMPP, the next thing start the services. So there are two main services that you need to start. Once you open the XAMPP, it will look like this. So the first service is Apache, and the second service is MySQL. So Apache is the engine that will help us to run PHP, and the MySQL is the database, or the software that works as a what? As a database. So once you have those two running, so it means that you have successfully set your environment for programming. So even though you're not practicing these things, please try it. Try it. Maybe it can be your next income source. Okay, so after doing that, the next thing I'm going to open a place where I'm going to put my project. So to open that place, it is very simple. You click on this word Explorer. Click on Explorer, and then it will take you to a place where you can save your project. And even to navigate to a place where you save your project is also simple. So you see, I'm here, right, under XAMPP. It is still simple to navigate. Just open your computer, and then go to your computer, and then go to disk C, and then you'll be able to see XAMPP there. You see, so it is very simple. You can use one of those two ways. So once you're in that folder, the next thing is to do what? Is to open the right folder where you can save your project. So this is the folder called htdocs. So in that htdocs is where you can put different projects. So I'm going to create a project that we're going to use for demonstration. I'm going to call it maybe, how should I call it? Maybe let us call it circle. Let us call it bank. Okay. So maybe we're going to demonstrate bank project. Let's say that you're going to do a bank system. So I'm going to create a folder called bank. So make sure that you're in the right folder. So you
Mubarak, Mubarak,
yes,
I think you're getting away from your microphone, eh?
Okay, okay.
Your
So
voice
can you
is
hear me
far.
now?
Okay, now it's clear. Yeah.
Let me okay, let me change the source of microphone. Can you still hear me?
You're slightly far.
Wait, okay.
You get closer to the microphone. I think you were much. Yeah, at some point, then I think your microphone is far from you.
Okay, yeah. Let me try to switch. How about there?
Hello?
How about there? That's
Now
better.
there you are okay.
Okay.
That's where you should keep.
Okay, okay, okay. So I was saying that the next thing is the next thing is to create a folder for your project in the right folder. So once you reach here in the htdocs, so the next thing I'm going to create a folder in this htdocs. So I'm saying that I'm going to create a bank system. Okay, so just simply come and create a new folder. I can call it maybe my bank. Okay, my bank. So that's going to be our project. So once you have this my bank project, so you need a text editor or an IDE. So a text editor that we're going to use is a common text editor. Just go to Google and search VS Code. Okay, so go ahead and install this software. It is very simple to install. You just simply click download, and then once it installed, you just click next. Then that software will be in your system. So when you open this software for the first time, it will look like this. It will look like this. This is how it will look like. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag and drop the folder that I've created into this software of VS Code. So I'll come to the folder, which is this one that I've named my bank. I'll drag and drop it into this VS Code. So it means that everything that I'll save, it will be coming this VS Code. So I'm going to create our first file that we're going to use for the project. So to create a file, the first file, I can create a file called index.php. So when you create a file of PHP, make sure that it has a right extension. Otherwise, if it does not have a right extension, then the PHP engine will not be able to do what? To execute it. So I'm going to create a file with index.php. So that is our first file. So after doing that, I can try to test if it is working by just simply putting hello and save Ctrl+S. So I'm going to open this file in my browser and see if it works. But here the whole point is this file has been created in this folder that we created. Can you see? Here it has been created. So now let's go ahead and open this project or this file into the system. I mean into the browser, and see if it executes properly. So we'll just simply come to our browser, and then to access that file, you open the new tab and put localhost as it is written there, localhost, and then the name of the folder of your project. So this localhost is pointing at the htdocs. Okay, so if you want not to specify the project that you want to execute, I'll have to specify it by putting stroke, then the name of the project, which is my bank. Okay, so that is the system. So you can see we have successfully executed our first file of PHP. So it is that simple. It is really that simple. So with that said, now it means that we have successfully set up our PHP file. So the next thing is now we're going to do what? To set up the database. So that we should have the database where we'll store the records, and the file where we'll do what? Where we'll manage the project. So to open the database, I'll just simply come to here and open new tab and write the word localhost stroke php-admin. You can even write just only the word localhost. So when you write localhost only, you will see here a link that takes you to the database interface. So this database interface, php-admin, this one, it's just an interface that helps you to interact with database with simplicity without writing complicated things. So if I click on php-admin, I'll be able to access my what? My database. So the other way to reach here at php-admin, you just simply come to your XAMPP, and then you come here where there is my SQL and click on admin. It will take you to the same one, the same place. So that is it. So this is how our database is organized, and our databases are here. So I'm going to create the database for my project that I've just created. Okay. So just simply click on databases, and from here I'm going to create a new database. So this database, I can call it what? My bank. So it can make sense with the project name. I can put the underscore instead of putting the hyphen. So my bank, that is the database. So if I come here to databases here, I'll be able to see my bank here. Can you see? It is here. You can collapse or expand from here. So make sure that you select the right database. So click on my bank, that means that you've selected the right the right database. So if you still remember when we were talking about database, we talked about things like tables. So and we say that tables, they are sections inside the database container. So we are going to create a table for users, or a table where will be storing the users, right? So I'm going to create a table called what? Called users, and maybe you can say it has maybe 5 columns. So let's go ahead and create it. So when you create it, you give it the table name. So the ID. So I put here the ID, and you can make it auto incrementing by just clicking here. So I mean that this ID will automatically increase. So the next thing, I can put maybe the name of the user, and I can say maybe this is a variable character of 255, and it can be null. So the next thing, I can put maybe the username
Okay,
of the
Mubara.
user. Yes, sir.
I see Richard Okiro, Richard, and Christopher Kantembeko is saying you are fast.
I'm too fast, really?
So I want to know. I thought, guys, this you already know it.
That's what also I should.
Richard Okiro.
I thought that even people are going to complain that it is not even necessary. Okay. Members, don't worry. Let me see. Since we have enough time, I can be slightly slow, and the video will be there, so don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's good to see that you're getting interested, because most people these things bore them. So I'm happy to see that you can say that I'm too fast. Okay. And the video will be there after the lecture. And what I'm trying to say is these classes are for both people, those who are already deep into programming and those who are new. So even if you've never programmed anything, just pay attention and give it this chance again. You'll see things are simple. Try it after class, watch the video and try it. You'll see this can change even your rest of your perception that you had about programming. Because we'll try to take you step by step, okay? So let me try to be slightly slower, not really slow, but slightly slower. And don't worry, the video will be there. So here we're at the point of creating the table, and this table is a section that will be inside our what? Inside our database. Okay, so this is our database, my bank, this one. So make sure you click there, and then you do what? You start creating a table. So don't worry, the video will be there. So I'll give this, maybe this table will have a username where I will record the information of the user that they used to log in, and then I can say it is null, and then maybe we'll have maybe the password. Okay. So this one can also maybe be text. I'll tell you the reason why I make it text, and maybe you can have maybe the country, okay, of the person, and maybe this one can also be my variable character, and maybe 2 to 5, and it can be null. So this is our typical table that you're going to use to store the information of what? The information of users. So let me go ahead and save it. So I click on go. So sorry, you click on the go here in the bottom here on the save here. So once you successfully do that, you'll be able to see your table here. Okay, you'll be able to see your table here. So this table is just simple. When you click on your bank here, my bank, you see, I'm able to see this table of users. So that means that I've successfully created my what? My users table. Okay, so you can have many table, and if you still remember the previous class, we said that the point of creating table is for creating different tables is to store different data structures. So after doing that, now we are going to see how we can connect this table with our project, or how we can communicate with this table from our project. So let us go ahead and create the registration page. So our system will be simple. Someone will register and someone will log in. So from there, it is how we'll demonstrate the SQL injection from those two things. So let's go ahead and create the registration page. So the registration page is not really necessary, but I'm doing it just for the sake of refreshing your minds and making you remember about PHP or these things of programming. So this homepage, this homepage, we're going to put our links. So I'll come to our project. This is our project. So I'm going to just simply come and search Bootstrap. Why am I searching Bootstrap CSS? It's because I don't want to write a lot of what? A lot of designs. So by use of Bootstraps, CSS will be able to do what? To simplify. To write design with simplicity. So this is Bootstrap CSS. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to okay, so this is the Bootstrap, the CSS. I'm going to copy this link of Bootstrap, and that's all. So I'm going to come to our project. This is our project. I hope you still remember. So I'm going to put the structure of HTML. So write just simply HTML like this, and then come to HTML5. So you say like when you do like this, the VS Code will put the structure of HTML5. Okay. So I'm going to paste here the link for my CSS. How have I got? How did I get this link of CSS? I just simply come to Google and search Bootstrap and then copy this link. This line, and I pasted it here. So by doing that, we'll be able to get a good, beautiful design with simplicity without too much headache. So after doing that, let us go ahead and put this home page by just simply putting maybe an ordered list, and then you put list item, and then you put our first link. Okay, maybe we're going to call this one maybe register.php, register.php. So maybe I can call this one register or create account. Okay, then I'm going to duplicate it, and then I create maybe login page. Okay, and maybe now this we can call this one maybe home. Okay, so if you want to make beautiful list with Bootstrap, just simply come and search list. So we are going to learn a lot of things along the way. Okay, just come here to Bootstrap and then come to components, the content, I mean components, not content, components, and then search for list component. So you'll get different ideas along the way. Okay, so come and search. If you want to search a beautiful list, just come and search it from here. List of what? List of links. This one here. You see? Just click on that code and then come and paste it here. And then you'll have a beautiful list of links. Okay, so I'll just simply come and put here register. Register, and then I'll duplicate it and call this one what? Login. Okay, and I'll surround it with what? With container. Okay, so let me be faster. I'll try to be slow. Okay, so I'll give you a class and maybe give it container. Okay, so that's it. That's it. Yeah. So if I come and refresh my page, it should be at least making some sense. Okay. So if I come and refresh our blank page, we are able to get that beautiful thing. You see, it's really beautiful. So I'm going to put here maybe I want to make it smaller. Okay, I want to make it just smaller. Okay, so I can put here maybe pt5, and then I can put here maybe div. Okay, div, and then I put here class row, and then put here call md sorry, div, okay. So then there we'll have our list. I wanted just something like that. Okay, I wanted something like that. So there we are. So that's our simple menu. So when you click here, I want to register. When you click here, I want to access the login page. So you see something is really beautiful with just a simple tweak. So don't worry. I mean, if it's your first time programming, please try it. It's really simple as I've demonstrated. So let's go ahead and create the registration page. Okay. So let me give this one a home page. I can give this one maybe a title here. Say H1 home page. Okay, so let's go ahead and create the login page. So give it maybe H2, the class of H3, H2, and then MB. So let's go ahead and create the home page. So once you have your first page, you may not need again to create everything from scratch. You just create this same page and save it as. So I'm going to press Ctrl Shift S to save it as what? As login page. So I'm going to say login.php. Trying to be faster, don't waste your time. So I'll come here and login.php. So I'll come back to the index here. I want to put here when someone clicks here on login, is taken to the login page. So to do that, I will come here and to the index page, and then come here where there is login link and put login.php. Sorry, here, and put login.php. So I mean that if I refresh here, when someone clicks on login, it should be taken to what? To login.php. Someone clicks on login. So let's do that. This is login.php. So if I come and refresh, when I click on login, I'm taken to login.php. Now let us go ahead and design the login.php table very fast. I mean form very fast. I can show you I can show you some more tricks, because we say that you're going to learn from each other, even some new things, even though you're a senior. So this is ChatGPT. So for things that are straightforward that you don't need to hustle, you can use ChatGPT. That's another technique that you need to take advantage of. So I want to design the login page. Okay, login page. So go ahead and search for ChatGPT, register, and then login. then come here and say, this is ChatGPT, and say, design for me bootstrap CSS login page. I hope I wrote bootstrap properly. Okay, so I'm asking ChatGPT to create for me the login page. I need to refresh. So everything you need to take advantage of. So this is ChatGPT. If you didn't have idea, this guy can do for you some magic. Okay, so instead of us going and suffer with the login page, just come and put the question in ChatGPT. I think that's not loaded, and then it will do for you these things that are boilerplate code. So that is ChatGPT writing for us the HTML. You don't need too much pain. So if you're already a developer and you're not aware of this, please make use of it. It can really do for you amazing things. You can ask it anything and it does it for you within a minute. It's becoming slow, but it's going to design it. Okay, so as it is designing, you just go ahead and create a registration page. So I'll just simply come and press this one, Ctrl Shift S, and create here register.php. So I'll come here and link it from the home page and replace here register.php. So if you come to our home page and refresh, so when you click on register, you're taken to the register page. Okay, so I think ChatGPT is still designing. It's taking time, but no problem. It's going to finish it. Don't worry. It's writing a lot of CSS. It doesn't want my page to look like another person's. So let me go ahead and save this one as register.php. Okay, save. If I come and refresh, I go back to home page. So when I click on register, it takes me to the registration page. This guy is taking time. I don't know why. Okay, as this design, let us design our own. So let us be working on our own. So when someone will be submitting the form, we'll have to receive that form from another file. So let us go ahead and write that logic of receiving the form from another file. So I'm going to create here the form that is going to receive the registration logic. So I'm going to put here a new form and going to call it maybe register logic.php. So this is, we're going to put the registration logic where we're going to do what? To do the process of registration. So if you want to write, everywhere where you write your PHP code, you need to first begin with the opening tag of PHP to tell the engine that you're writing PHP in that particular space. So I'm going to put your question mark and say PHP. So we're going to expect maybe someone's first name and the username and password, as simple as that. So how do we do that? We just simply say, we are going to simply say maybe name equals to post. So this is how you collect the form from the user, and we're going to collect here the name like this, and then put comma. Then here we collect the username like this. Someone can mute, and then here we collect the password. Okay, like this. Okay, so once we have those one, the next thing we are going now to add these things into the database. So I think ChatGPT has finished. Network error. Copy the code. Let me ask it to generate it. It is delaying us, but the whole point it can do for you all that stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and create our simple registration page. So I'll come here to the register.php, and I come here and put here maybe the heading and call it register or create account. Create account. Okay, here I'm designing the form. Don't get confused. I'm designing the form. So let us go ahead and see if we are at the right place. So if I refresh here, we see create account. So I want to remove this list. I want to put here create account from here, and then I'm going to remove this information that is here. Okay, so if I refresh, so we're on the registration page, and you see it is asking us to create account. So after doing that, so the next thing we're going now to do what to create the to write that form that is going to do the logic of what of creating the account. Okay, so let's go ahead and design that form faster. So to design that form, we just simply I'm going to put it in the middle. So I may put here call 3, call 6, and then here I come and open another tag so it can be in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to put it here in between. So to design a form in HTML, this is what you do. So to design a form, you just simply write form like this. So you can choose whether it should be a get form or a post form, but I'm going to explain it. So VS Code will try to generate for you this simple code. So it is a form. You just open a form tag and then you put action and then you put the method. So the method that you're going to use. So the method, if it contains sensitive data like password, the method have to be post, and I'll explain why post is different from get method. So between this form, it is where we're going to put our information. So let us go ahead and put the form. So if you come here to the registration screen, you will not see anything because the form is just a frame. So let's go ahead and put the form itself now. So we are going to collect someone's name, someone's first name, and then we will collect also someone's username and someone's password. So let's go ahead and do that. So just simply put input. Okay, just write div and then put here class called form group, and then go ahead and put a label, and then can put maybe for name, and then put here enter your name. So here come and put now the input, and then I can collapse this because I want enough space. You can collapse it from here. So I'm going to collect this one. It's going to be a text input. I can put here. Now you must put the name. If you don't put the name, then it will not be submitted. Okay. And then I can put here maybe placeholder as name. Okay. So I can make it required by just simply adding the word required. Okay, so let me give it some bootstrap classes that will make it beautiful. Form control, simple and straightforward bootstrap class that will add magic to your input. So let's go ahead and refresh. I'm trying to be faster. You see, that's our simple That's our simple form that is asking us to do what? To register. Enter your name, and you see, very simple and straightforward. So after doing that, now what next? We can go ahead and now this will collect someone's name, right? So let me give it an ID. So if someone clicks on the name, it should be forecast on there. So just do like this. So that is as simple as that, you see. So when someone clicks there, they enter their name. So we're going to collect the next thing, the username. Okay, so I'll just copy this guy and paste it here. So the next thing we're going to collect username. I'm trying to be faster because this coding can take time. Username, and then the name will be username. Yeah, I'm trying to be wide. I mean, I'm trying to explain everything because I know some people are new to these things and I want them to understand, or they can even get the inspiration. So here I'm collecting the username. So make sure that you have the name here. So if I come and refresh, so you have the username there. And then let's collect also the password. Okay, so let's go ahead and create the password. So you put here maybe password. So if you want your password to be hidden, you have to put here text type password, and then can put your username password and here password. Okay, so if I come and refresh, now we have what? We have password. Okay, so lastly, maybe we can collect also someone's country, then we say we are done. Okay, so someone's country, and then you can put maybe enter your country name, uh, name and name, yeah, name and name. Okay, so beautiful. So we have a simple form. Now lastly, we have to put our button where someone will click and then this form submits. So let's go ahead and put that button. So you can just simply put here button and give it maybe login. I mean create account or register. So we come and design this button. If you come, this button look just a weird button. So let me show you the power of Bootstrap. Just simply come and give it class btn. When you do like that, to make it just as simple as that, it's beautiful but not really beautiful. We give it also maybe class, we give it another class btn dark, like this. So we'll have a simple black button as it is. So I can make it maybe float on the right side, because on the user interface, on the user experience, when someone finishes to write, his hand is on the right side. So it is better this button to be on the right side. I don't know they're understanding me. So I can put float,
Yes.
float right. You understanding, eh?
Man.
Yes, that is good if you get my point, sir. So
We
I'll
are
refresh.
understanding, sir.
So we are here. So you see, the button should not be on the right. Why? Because when I finish writing, probably my hand is on right. So it will be simple, other than for me going back. That's just simple user experience. Okay, so that's our simple registration form. I can maybe make this guy centered. So you just put text center. Okay, so we're just working on the interface. That's it. We're done. Can maybe put maybe, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's it. Okay, now let's go ahead and submit this form. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time in designs. I'll share this source code, so in your free time you can come and play with it. So let's go ahead and submit this form. So the question is, where are we submitting it? We have to specify the section where we are submitting this form. Okay, so to submit this form, you remember we created our simple register logic form. So this is not a user interface form, but is a business process file. Sorry. Okay. So this is where the interface is, and this is where the process will be. So let's go ahead and say when someone clicks submit, this should be submitted here. So I'll just make sure I copy the right file name, and then I come here where there is action, and I put that file there. So it means that when someone click on submit, this will be submitted on this file that we created. So let me go ahead and put what, and put maybe type of submit. Okay, so refresh. Let's go ahead and enter our name, John Paul, and then country Kenya, and then username JP, and then password 4321. So let's submit. Beautiful. So we see it has, if you look at the link here, it has submitted to register logic.php, but nothing is being displayed. Why? Because we're not done anything. So since the method of the form here is post, so I can come to this and expose what has been submitted. If you want to expose what has been submitted, you can just simply put, say, echo, and then open the pre-tag. Why am I open the pre-tag? Is because I want the things to be designed properly, and then write print underscore r. So everything that comes from the form that is of type post, you can access it like this in PHP. Open $sign and then put underscore, and then write in capital letter posts. So this type of static variables that are protected, we call them super global variables. So this is how you can collect any kind of data from the form. So if you're a person there who have never programmed it, you can see how things are making sense. So please give it a try. Give it a try, and you can make serious money in programming. You can't be broke if you know what you're doing in programming. So you see, that's it. Okay. So I'm able to access what someone was submitted, and the what, and the username, and what, and password. So without wasting time, let us go ahead and insert this data into what? Into database. So we have collected the username like this. So it collect the username, the name you collect like this, and like this, and like this. That's why we collect it from what? From this array. You can go ahead and collect the what? The country let's go ahead and create the country. So I'll just simply say country equals to country like this. So if it's not good practice, let me just do for you something like this. Let me, as I said, that you are also learning good practices of programming. So you find some developers. Let me, sorry, this is you find some developers, they have stored password in the database straight like this one. It is not a good practice. So it is better you hash that password so that in case someone lands on your database, they are not able to know people's passwords directly. So how do we hash passwords in PHP? Into a unique string or into a weird string that someone cannot understand. We hash them like this. So I can, after collecting the password, I can go ahead and hash it by saying password hash. So this is the PHP inbuilt function. Someone can mute. Doctor, I can mute. Okay.
Each party shall according to this one responsible for all its obligations, including payment of the small taxes, levies, charges that may be due from, right, and we shall. We're not,
okay, there's another meeting. Sorry, he will mute. Doctor, you can mute our meeting. He cannot hear us. No problem. Okay, so I'm going to hash this password. So to hash the password, let us forget about doctor. Let us focus on our own business. Okay. So to hash this password, we'll just simply say PSP password hash. So this password hash, the first parameter, you pass the password, and then you pass here the algorithm that you want to use. Let us use the default one. So this is the password. You can see this is the password. So if I come and refresh, you can see this is the string that PHP has hashed for us. So this is what you're going to store in the database, okay? This password. So never store direct string to the what? To the database. So once after doing like that, the next thing we're now going to write the SQL that is going to insert this data into our database. So let us design that SQL. So the SQL is simple of inserting data. It's just simply the normal SQL is like this: insert into, and then you specify the table. Okay, insert into table. This I'm just showing you the syntax of inserting data into the database. You say insert into, then the table name, and then you say you open bracket and you specify what you want to insert. You can say yes, please.
Thank you so much. I kindly request you to once again recall, like you clarify on the hashing function.
Okay. Let me come there. Let me repeat it. Okay. So thank you for picking interest. Let me come again and explain what is this hash. So hashing is a type of encrypting passwords. So you see this guy, let me first comment here. Let me comment. This is how we comment. Comment means a question, something should not take should not do anything in your project, in your code. So if I say die means the project should stop from there. Okay, should stop executing from there. So I want to die and display the password. Okay, tell me that the password will stop from here. I mean the project stop from here, and then we display this. So if I come and refresh here, you'll see this is the password that the person submitted. But this password is really plain. So this is not very good practice in programming. It is totally prohibited. Don't save the passwords of people as plain as they are on your database. Why? Someone else can land on that database and then they'll be able to do what? Do anything with people's passwords. So the better way to save the password of the database is to encrypt it. So when you encrypt it, you, the owner of the project, you will not be knowing even what the person wrote in, or what the person write, or what the person, what people's password they are, if you encrypt it. And the question is now, if you don't know what if it's already encrypted, how will you be able to tell that if password someone entered with 4321 as their password? So there you need to decrypt. Okay, but PHP does not allow you to decrypt. PHP has a function that will help you to tell whether the password that is being submitted is correct or false. For example, you see this is the password right now. Okay, so it is saying it is 4321. But if we encrypt it using PHP hash, okay, I'm encrypting it here. It will be this complicated string that we cannot understand. Even you, the owner of the system, will not understand it. And this is the one that you're going to submit to the database. So when you'll be designing the login page, someone will submit his password. So again, it will be the task of PHP to tell whether that password is correct or wrong, not your task. So even though someone lands on our database and he accessed the passwords, you will see this weird string. You will not be able to do what? To understand it. So this is what we call the password hashing. So in PHP, we have a hashing function that is inbuilt called PHP hash. And PHP password hash, and it takes two things. Yes, you have a question?
Excuse me, man.
First one,
Can
let
you
me finish,
please
then
tell
you
the
ask
guy
it.
to mute?
Guys, mute your microphones until I pick you. Put your arm up if you want to speak, please.
So we
Let's
are
be organized, okay?
requesting that
Put your arm up if you want to speak. We need to be organized, okay? Okay. So let me finish this answer, then you can ask, okay? So I'm saying, don't store people's password on database directly. You need to hash them. And this is the function that is for hashing. You just call this, it is inbuilt PHP function. You give it the password, and then you give it the algorithm that you want to use. So there are different algorithms. Okay, there's bycrypt, there is password default. So this password default is the most common one and the simpler one. Okay, so when we will be checking if this password is correct or not, again it will be the task of PHP to tell us whether it is correct or not. So that is what is meant by password hashing. It is just a security level that help us not to expose people's password. Okay. Namiro, please ask.
excuse me, sorry, requesting someone directly to set it because it's really distracting us.
Doctor, okay.
I've really failed to follow what you are teaching because the noise is too much.
Okay. I think he has muted. Can you hear me clearly now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you'll forgive me.
Hey guys, sorry. I was in another meeting and I didn't know you guys are having this. Sorry about that.
It's alright, doctor. So you need me to repeat faster?
Yeah, the hash function.
Okay, I'm going to repeat it just in 2 minutes. Okay, let's have Emmanuel say something. Emmanuel, say. Okay, Emmanuel, I think you've been answered. Okay, so let me I told you to focus on my voice, not on doctor's voice. Okay, no problem. Let me repeat it in just 2 minutes. Okay, so I'll repeat it just in only 2 minutes. So I'm commenting. Commenting means that this code should not execute. Okay, so I'm telling you, I'm displaying the password that the person has submitted. Okay, so I'm collecting it from the form. I told you this is how you collect from the form, and then here I'm displaying it. So I save, I come to the project and I refresh. So you see, this is the password that someone has submitted. So it is plain, it is really understandable. So this is not advised to keep the people's password on your database as plain as they are. It is really not recommendable. So what do? You need to hash the password. Why is it bad to keep people's password plain on database? It is bad because if someone lands on your database, either by any way, it means that those people, they can use even those passwords to even access other systems and do things that are really bad. So as a security knowledgeable person, someone who knows security, it is better to hash a password. So once you hash a password, it means that you have encrypted it in a way that even you yourself you'll not know, or even if other person lands on it, they will also not know. So it will be the task of PHP. So the question will come now: if I don't know the password and I've changed it to maybe a weird encrypted text, so how will I know that this is the person has submitted the correct password when they are logging in? So still, it will be the task of PHP software or PHP engine to tell whether the password that has been submitted is correct or not, and we'll demonstrate that when we are logging in. So this is a just plain PHP password a plain password that someone submitted. Now we are going to hash it. So to hash it, you write password hash. This is an inbuilt PHP function. You pass two things. You pass the real password that someone submitted and this constant called password default. This is a type of algorithm that they should be used to encrypt. So once you pass it through like this, so you see I'm just updating the password into this hash, and then I'm going to display what has come out of this function. So if I come and refresh, you'll see a weird text, and every time you refresh it will change. Okay, so it is very hard for someone to tell this is 4321. It is really hard. So even though someone hacks your database and they access people's passwords, still they will not understand what they mean. Even you yourself, the owner of the system, you will not understand what they mean. Let us say it is a bank system and maybe there are 20 tailors working on that bank, in that bank branch or whatever. So it means that you cannot trust all of them since they can access these people's database. So if you keep them in plain text, so it means that every teller will know their customer's password, and they can even do some fraud and withdraw people's money without their consent. So what do? You hash it. So a programmer will not understand someone's password, a user will not understand until only the person who put it in the one who will do what? Who will understand. So that is the meaning of what? Of password hashing. So it is a security feature that you need to implement in your real world projects. Never store a password as plain as it is. So different programming languages have different ways of hashing passwords. So if you're already programming and you're already doing this, then it means that you've learned it. You'll never do that again. And if you're really new, you've never programmed, and you want to begin, then you've learned you'll never keep people's password as plain. So I hope you've understood that. If you have not understood, you'll rewatch this video. You'll get the point. So now we need now to insert this data into the database. Okay, we have collected it from the form, the name, the username, the password, and the yes. Ask in 1 minute, 1 second. Okay.
All right. Like in case a password has been hashed.
Yes.
And maybe someone accessed it in that format.
Yes.
Are you trying to mean that there is no technique with which the person can reverse that hashed thing back to the original password?
There are techniques. But it is not simple. For example, you can come here and search decrypt. So this new PHP algorithm, we start from PHP 7, it is really almost impossible. But there used to be password hash of MD5, those old ones from PHP 5. It is possible to be decrypted. Now let me show you. This here is a website that can decrypt any password. Decrypt PHP password hash. Let us see. There used to be a password. There used to be an online tool that can decrypt any password that is already hashed. I don't know whether it is still there. Okay. Online bycrypt generator, online hashword matcher. Yeah, I think this one can decrypt for us. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to put here the hash. I don't know. This is for generating hash. I don't know. There used to be some tools online that can help to decrypt the password, but this latest PHP, there is no way. There is no way. If you can find a way, you let us know. But the latest PHP hash way, there is no way you can decrypt it. But if you find a way that you can decrypt this password, let us know. I don't see here the website is no longer there. You cannot see it, but it's a homework. Try to see if you can decrypt a PHP password hash. Okay, here it is. Well, there is one. So crack hashes code. Read. You see, it is impossible. It is impossible. So the encryption, but the old PHP of MD5, it can be decrypted, and a website, this kind of website will tell you what is really that password. But you see, here I'm putting the hash, but it is saying it is what? It is impossible. So this new algorithm, it is impossible. There is no way for now. Okay, for now, you see, there is no way. But if you can figure out that there is a way of how you can decrypt this hash, then you can publish it, or you can submit it to a PHP website that you found a way how you can decrypt this hash. But it is impossible. I don't know. It is very hard. You can try it. Okay. I hope I've answered you. That website would have decrypted it, but it is red. It is impossible. Did I answer you? Yes, I think. So that hash.
Yes.
Yes, sir. But you'll try it. Try to use your logic. Try to decrypt it. It is really hard to decrypt. Why? Because it is changing every time. Every time you submit the same password, the hash changes. So that's why the hackers have found it hard. It depends on the timestamp, etc. So the hackers, but the old PHP 5 using MD5, SHA MD5 encryption algorithm, it could give you the same string. It could give you the same hash. So people had to figure out how they can decrypt it because it was constant. But what you should learn here, every time you submit, the hash changes. Every time you submit, the hash changes. So that has become really hard for people to decrypt this algorithm of PHP password hashing. Once you convert to this, you can be guaranteed that it's only PHP that will understand what is inside there. Even you yourself, you cannot know. So you can do it as homework. Okay, we proceed. That's a good question. Hope you've understood. So after hashing, now let's go ahead and insert this data into database. So to insert the data into the database, this is how we write the SQL. I'm going to just show you the syntax first. So to write data into the database, just say insert into, and then you specify the table name, and then after you open the bracket and specify the columns that you're going to insert into the database. Call 1, maybe call 2, and maybe column 3. Okay, then after doing like that, you say values. Okay, and then you open the curly bracket, and then you open these quotes for strings, and then say maybe value 1, that you're going to do what? That then so this value 1 is the value for column 1, for column name 1, and then say maybe value 2, and then value 3. So if you had that fever of programming, please try to don't fear programming. You can see things are really simple and straightforward. Okay, so if you have that phobia, is it phobia or it's fever? It's really simple. Try it. So this is how the syntax or the structure of inserting data into the database. Okay, so let's go ahead and now write our own code that is going to generate something like this, so we can execute it on the database. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we'll create a variable called SQL. You can name it anything, and then you open the string, and then say insert into, and then say users. That's the name of the name of our table. Insert into users, and then we're going to put the data that we're going to insert. So open the bracket. You have someone has a question?
You have misspelled insert.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so insert into users. So I'll give name and then user name and then password. Thank you so much for that observation. So that is that. And then we write the word values like this, an open curly bracket, okay? And then we start putting the values. So you can put these single quotes and then you put the value inside there. So the first value is going to be the value of what? Of name. Let us also put maybe country. Okay, so I want to put here now the value that I'm going to substitute here. So if you want your things to be organized, you can still structure it. Don't get confused, but you can as well do something like this. It's not a sin to do something like this, okay? So that your things can be organized, okay? As long as it's the same string. Okay, and like that, and okay. See, it's beautiful, right? So after specifying your columns, then write the word values like this, okay, and then start putting the values as you just arrange them on top there. So it's really beautiful, you see. So I'm going to put here, substitute there the name. So substitute something in this bracket, I mean the double quotes of PHP. Just simply put curly bracket like this, and then you put the variable. Okay, name. So I duplicate it. The next thing is country. Okay, and then the next thing is what? Is username. And then the next thing is the password. Okay, password. So many people make mistake by putting here the comma to the end. Don't do that. Make sure that there's no comma at the end. So this SQL is almost like this one. Yes, please. So
I'm asking, like, in case maybe I add my table in the database and the first column was maybe name followed by country followed by username and lastly password. Is it a must that when I'm writing this query, the way the table should be the same order?
No, it's not a must. It's not a must. I can change this one. You see, as long as you follow the right order. You see, I'm beginning with name and username, so it is not a must. Thank you for that question. So before I execute my SQL, the SQL I can first display it. So if I come and refresh, you can see our SQL. Let me remove this pre-tag so you can see it clearly. Okay. So you see that is our simple SQL. It is just insert into users, and then you have username, password, and then values. Then it substitutes someone or whatever person submitted. You see, values, someone submitted his name and then his username, and then you see, and then the most important, our password hash. So you see, our password is hash. So this SQL can be executed on what? On database. So now we are going to programmatically execute this SQL so it can insert data into the database. So to do that, you need what you call a connection. So to create a connection, PHP, just simply come and search maybe PHP my SQLi connection. Or you can just simply search PHP my SQLi query. Okay, so in real world, you can use internet. Just know it's not an exam. So, and you're not cheating, right? So you can use internet. You don't need to memorize things. You just need to know they exist, but you don't need to memorize all of them. But when you keep on practicing, of course, they will automatically come in your head. So I've searched how you can insert this into the database and how you can execute a query. So this is how we do it. I've pasted it here, but I'm going to explain every point. So we are at this point. We have successfully write our query. Now we need to insert this data programmatically into database. So we just simply say my SQLi equals to new my SQLi. So what is this? This string is the one that is going to help us to connect the database. Okay. So you say, can you mute guys? Unless you have something to ask, please. Okay. So I say my SQLi equals to new my SQLi, and then the first parameter you pass the database name, the database location, which is on localhost. The second parameter you pass the database. So you still remember our database. Our database is called what? My bank. Okay, with an underscore. So come and copy the name of the database as it is. So you specify the database. Then you specify the password. So by default, the example database, they come with not password. Okay, and then you specify the wait. This is the user. The user is root, and then there's no password, and then lastly specify the database. So those are that is how you gain the connection. So this is like a key or a transporter that will enable us to communicate with the what? With the database. Otherwise, if you enter here, for example, wrong password, then it will not what? It will not work. So that's how you connect to the database.
So the database is my bank, not my user.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for that observation. My bank, yeah, that's a very good observation. Thank you. So that is the database. So once you successfully connect there, then you'll be able to execute some queries. So if you want to see if the connection was successful or not, you can run this connection error. So if it is returning something, then you'll know that it's failed. So let me put here die success. Okay. So if I come and refresh, you see success. So if I come to put, maybe I put a wrong database that does not exist. So you'll see it is failed. Why? The database does not exist. If I come and put the wrong password, okay, so it will fail. Why? The password is not correct. So I will go ahead and remove this checking whether it is success or not. I'll assume that everything is okay. So I'll not need to check. So now when I need to execute an SQL, I'll use this connector, this fairy connector, to send the SQL to the database. So you see, we have already prepared the SQL is here. Now we're going to execute it. So to execute it, you just simply say the SQL, and then you point at query like this. So in between there, you pass the SQL itself. Okay. So I pass here SQL. So this is what we wrote. So by doing like that, it will be able to execute this SQL, and I hope it will be a success. Okay. So I'll save. I hope you've understood that. Let me explain one last time. So here I'm collecting the data that has been submitted from the form using this super global variable. Here I hash the password. Here I create the SQL that is going to insert this data into database using the SQL using the SQL syntax. Here I connect to the database, and here I execute the query. So let's go ahead and refresh. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and check in the database the users, so you can see we have got the data inserted. So it is as simple as that. That is how you can simply insert data. So you see our users already what in the database. So that is very nice. So we have learned how we can do what, how we can insert the user to the database. So let me redirect maybe to the admin page. So once the user is successfully registered, I want to redirect this user to the what? To the admin page. So let's go ahead and create the admin page. So it will be simply a new file, just like home page, and then we're going to call it maybe admin to show that someone has successfully logged in. So I'll come here and then maybe put here admin page. Okay, I can remove this garbage and put here a p tag and put maybe a class and text success and say maybe welcome to admin. Our time is up. We are going to finish this and then We come while we are doing now the SQL injection. So I save. Now you see this is the admin page. So I want to, after successfully registering someone, I want to direct this person to this admin.php. So how do you redirect in PHP? This is how you direct in PHP. So after successful registration here, I want to redirect to the admin.php. So to do that, I just simply say header. You do like this. I don't know why. So you say header, and then you open, and then you write exactly as how I'm going to write here. You write location with a capital letter like this, and then put colon, and then put where I want to direct the user. So I want to direct the user to admin.php. Okay, so the whole point here is I've successfully registered the user, and then I'm directing him to admin.php. But there we have not checked whether the SQL was successful or not. We will check that one. So I hope you've understood here. So let me delete everything in the database so we can start afresh. So to delete everything in your table, there is a simple SQL that you write. So you just simply come here to SQL and write truncate users. So this SQL will clean everything in your table and make it to be it will reset it. So the IDs and everything will be at 00. Truncate, then the name of the table. So now let's go ahead and do what and register our person. So let me come back to our home page. There we are, and then I click on register, and then I enter the person that I want to register. Username, I mean the name, John Paul, and then country, Kenya, username, JP, and password, maybe 1234. Okay, so I submit. So you see, success, welcome to admin. So it means that this person has been successfully inserted into the database. Okay, so that is how we connect to the database, and that is going to be our first session. So what have we covered in this first session? We have got introduced to PHP, how you can download XAMPP, how you can install XAMPP. We have got introduced to VS Code, how you can open VS Code. We have just got introduced to database, how you can create the database. I've got introduced to how you can create your first project of PHP. We have got introduced to Bootstrap. If you didn't know Bootstrap, how you can design something beautiful with simplicity using Bootstrap. We have also learned how you can design a login page interface. Okay, how you can design a login page interface. We have also learned how you can do it, how you can design a registration interface, okay, with simplicity using Bootstrap. We have also learned how you can connect to the database, and we've also learned how you can execute the SQL the database. We have learned how you can hash the password and how you need to hash the password. We have also learned how you can write the SQL that insert the data, the database. So ask yourself if you really understood those things. If you've not, no problem, the video will be there. So we are going to go for a short break, and then after the break, we'll now come and do the real SQL injection and how we can get rid or reduce the risk of SQL injection. Unless there is a question in 2 minutes before we go to break. You put your arm up. Any question, guys? I hope no question. So let us go and drink water, and maybe 11:35 we should all be back, and we now do the real SQL injection. Let's go and drink water. 11:35, everyone should be back.
Break.
Yes. You don't need break? Gano nyoko mazzi.
We have already gone.